Yeah, we're still getting shit set up. Thanks for the time, Nathan. Yeah, no problem. I was probably, honestly, if you didn't say anything, I was probably gonna go to bed soon. But I mean, honestly, it doesn't matter. I just got some food and I just got some sugary drinks, so I'm gonna be wired throughout this. So, so reload speed isn't necessary because you would rather have gun damage or data link, and most people run. Fuck off. And most people usually run either boost. No, sorry. They usually run either Blisk 2 or they run Flaps 3 if they really know what they're doing. So that really helps them out. Frankly, I couldn't put gun damage 2, I don't think, so I put speed 1. I'm pretty sure that like on the SU-37 you have enough for missile damage, homing, data link, and then gun damage 2. But if you don't feel like running that, you can also run lock speed as well, which is also really important. In fact, I would run lock speed over gun damage personally. I'd have to go look at my build that I have up for my special weapons off 37, but I think I don't run gun damage. I run yeah, I run lock speed as well. So let me get it set up, almost done here. Yeah. Usually the good players give you the best builds, and that helps out a ton. So what's going on here? It's a land boat game. Okay. I don't want to do this one. Again, I fucked up when I should be watching, when I should have actually watched the videos. So are any of these like, these are all on FB22 then, is what I'm getting at. Okay. So I guess it doesn't matter. Okay, that's fine. So we're beginning with FB22s. Now the FB22s, they have a larger than normal hitbox. So if you're running against anyone that does have guns on or running the guns build or anything like that, you're going to be hit a lot easier than they are. And it also, I think, has the stall speed problem, if I'm not mistaken. But I don't remember. Are these in 60 FPS? This is a little tough to watch. Okay, let's see what's happening here. Dark's going low, so nothing loops around. Okay, so he goes close to the ground, and the reason why he does that is because if you fire at him as he's approaching from that low, your missiles are going to come around and they're just going to hit right under, and they're not going to really amount to anything. And the problem is if you slow down at this point, like he gets full reign to come up and do whatever he wants. So it's kind of tough. So he fires here because, quite frankly, you're above him. And notice how it's only one missile. It's friggin' dark. Yeah. So here we start with the first PSM, and this is tough to watch. We're gonna slow it down then. Yeah, so the first PSM, or the first person to set up for it, usually wins. So right here, you're dumping speed. You might as well have PSM'd right here just to start off, honestly. Which you do, yeah, but by the time you end it, and you're ready to go again, you're in a bad spot. He's already just opening up on you too. So if you know you're going to lose like this in the first PSM, I just use shadow play. But if you know you're going to lose like this in the first PSM, it's not that bad of an idea to actually separate and be at around, I don't know, like a full kilometer away. Because that way you can at least get the fight on your terms instead of theirs. Just some food for thought. For example, if you know that they're that much better, you don't have to engage like this. I mean, you can, but you don't have to. Yeah, look at this. So look at that gun aim. That's gross. Yeah. So, if you're getting out boosted, the reason you're getting out boosted is because they're really good at positioning. Well, yeah, his guns are scary because this is all that he does. So I don't blame him for being good with it. They're hard to get away anyways if they're just really gun centric. Okay, let's see what goes on here. You PS him first. Yep, backwards fly cancel. This is fine, honestly. I think he's just showing off a bit. Yeah, like what I'm seeing here in general is just you're just getting lit up the entire time by somebody who has a ton more hours than you do. It's not necessarily your fault for not having the hours. It's just there's just a giant definitive skill difference. Okay, so the thing is in fights like this, you always want to be boosting. And the only time you want to be really slow like this, yeah, it's just constantly fighting the plane itself to do it, to make it do what you want it to do. When he's already like a full step in front. And it's also really hard to tell what's actually going on here. See, now that backwards slide is kind of nice, though. Yeah, it seems like it's not only that Dark is very fast, it is just that everything that you could have is just lacking in comparison compared to what Dark is doing, which is he is just a full step ahead of you at every turn. The gun aim and damage, the boosting, the acceleration. You can't really play against somebody like this unless you're actually like trying to land damage on them at the same time. It seems like you're just so focused on not getting hit or trying not to get hit that it doesn't give you any real like chance to fight back at the very least. And after the first few deaths, normally anyone would realize that this isn't working. Right around here is when somebody would try switching up tactics, at the very least, just to see if something's different. It's not that you're not aggressive, it's just that they are so aggressive that they're not letting you really play the game. And that's what high level players do. So um, they don't they don't really have the gun power to bully you out of a good missile shot all the time because almost nobody runs gun power for these special weapons off 1v1s. This one is hard to pull apart because the video is really choppy and you're just getting massively stepped in every single department. Boosting, positioning. And I mean, look at this. Look at how much quicker they are. By the time you PSM, they're already setting up to get behind you. Because this is, honestly, this is the same amount of trouble that I have. But at the very least, I do land damage. So, but you're not doing much better than I would, personally. Or much worse, I guess. And that's kind of what you have to do here whenever you're fighting somebody that outboosts you all the time. Because they don't really give you any other option. Yeah, let's slow this down even more. See, look at this. Look at this choppiness. Holy shit. So anyway, he's already pulled around on you. You PSM, he was already set up for a shot minutes ago. So he PSMs after hitting you, because he knows that's what you're trying to do. And that's a big part of the whole maintaining your airspeed and control over the set airspeed. So now, he's got full advantage. There is nothing you can really do about this, except try to fly backwards and just put him in your gun sights. That's pretty much what you decide to do here. See, he fucks up here. Gives you full PSM rain, and now you can get back in. You see that canceling right there? Sets people up. And so this is dual purpose right here. You generally do this for two purposes. One, it's very hard for them to hit you before you're hitting them already. And the minute that they do nose on to you, you drop it, move forward or in a different direction. No problem. But you can see what they're doing right here. They have their nose on you. They're already pitching and turning. They're already mid PSM by the time you're just trying to start. Look at that. You shoot at them, they cancel. They're still lined up in a shot. Cancels again. We're still ready for a shot. Granted, they miss, but you get the idea. Has nobody ever taught you how to cut your PSM short? Just curious. Is that an idea that's ever like come up to you? Where you do a PSM, but you know that it's not where you want to be. You're not going to end up where you're going to want to be, so you cut it short and you do it again, or you just let it go for a second. Well, cutting your PSM short is something that the players like to do. For example, if you know you're going to end up in a bad spot, you don't want to end up in that bad spot. They're mid boost. It's like, what the fuck do I do? And a lot of people think that they only have like two options. That's to stall out, which gives them what they want, or they just try and keep boosting. But the problem is if you keep boosting, you're going to be in a spot where they wanted you to be. So you're kind of fucked. And to come back to the gun skills, the main way of dealing with somebody who is flying backwards is quite literally like to run up and shoot them in the face or gun them down as well. But when you do a PSM, you can actually just straight up cancel it like you would any normal PSM and just keep going. You still lose a lot of speed, but it breaks you out of that plane of momentum a lot faster than quite literally anything else would. If you stall, you have to wait until you get your speed back. If you continue on with the PSM, you have to wait until you get that speed back. So what you can do is you start the PSM, cancel it immediately, and try to go straight. And then you can PSM again. How do you cancel it input wise? So you start the PSM, right? You do the exact same thing as if you were trying to backwards fly. You just push the thumbstick upwards. You pitch downwards like you normally would, but you flick the thumbstick upwards and you just hold on to throttle and it should just start jutting you forward. So that's your other option that you have. If somebody is still just fucking you up like this and they're already in position. See, they're about to nose onto you. You're just, there we go. But yeah, if they were a little fast, they would like definitely hit you on that. But what the thing is, you're fighting somebody who has so much like knowledge of fighting this sort of style. Not only just style, but control of their own plane. So it's like quite literally almost everything could be improved here. But the number one thing that you have to learn, I'll give you a tip. Most damage from special weapon off fights come from missiles themselves. They don't come from gun damage, ironically enough. You may believe this, but it's not true. Now, gun damage does a good part of it, but most damage comes from missiles. Training your gun aim is hard. I'm just going to be straight up about that. hmm You see, the difference between somebody like Dark fighting another person that's like Dark is they would not only be using normal boost, they would be using variations of different PSM to put the planes where they need to be. You get beat in this game by having worse positioning because positioning is so much more important. The reason why players run Aileron 3 is because they can get their planes where they need to be by rolling a lot faster. There is just so much cursed knowledge that right now Dark has over you that you just simply don't know about. That and the skill to back it up from using that cursed knowledge against you. I mean, look at this. He's constantly in good position. The only time you ever are able to drag your nose onto him is when you're backwards flying. And you see, that's not a bad thing. You only knowing boost right now, that is not a bad thing. That is how every single good player at the top level of this game learned starting out. Yeah, you know enough to beat the average random person. Same with me. But I also know enough to beat the random average competitive player. And the only reason I know that is because I played for so long. Now, for someone like the only people I don't necessarily like playing against is someone probably like Talisman, and I physically fucking despise playing against him because it's nothing. The entire match is nothing but like gun aim and constant like boosting, like how this match is. Imagine a match like this, except you're getting pelted like twice as much. It's really annoying and boring. But yeah, you're getting beat in positioning very badly here, and it shows. That's another thing I'd like to put. You see this? This doesn't work. Raw boosting doesn't work because they're already in good position. They know where you're going to go. PSM here. You PSM'd earlier than they did, but it doesn't matter because... Actually, did you? No, you didn't PSM here when you should have. Yeah, so if you're ever given the opportunity to PSM and you won't be in a bad spot throughout it, you should be taking it. Yeah, you should have done it right around here. You would have had your nose on him way before he would have had it on you. So Dark actually messed up here. But you PS him later than he does, and he's still boosting. Nope, he starts it before you started it. He's already mid-boost, and he's caught you. Almost caught you again. And almost the third time. And he does another PSM right as soon as it ends. You see that? As soon as his boost is over, right into another PSM with his nose still on you. And because you're trying to boost, you eventually do match a boost with him. You see how his nose is not on you yet, and you are both about equal. This is the one time that you both have equalized the fight. And now you can PS him before he does. So you should have done that. But you do it way too late, and he's already started. So you're gonna get hit by this usually. Guess not, but you get the idea. See, you're trying to boost as hard as you can. You're trying to chain as hard as you can. But it's not amounting to much of anything because he is boosting before you are. Yeah, I'm just trying to enlighten you as to why you're getting your ass beat instead of just making fun of you for it. You're getting beat by knowledge and skill here. Two combinations. Quite frankly, you never really stood like a really good chance. Even I don't. And I know what I'm doing wrong, so. Let's go pull up another game. I think I'll pull up game 4. Yeah, for the love of Christ, don't use OBS anymore. Just use Shadow Play, like everyone else does, if you don't mind. It's not much better frames-wise, but we'll see. Maybe. So again, he's riding low, and the reason he's doing this, if you shoot at him, they're going to go straight into the dirt. So what you can do here, you can go really high if you want to. He'll have to come to you if he wants to get any score. So, and you'll have the height advantage. You don't have to, but it's just something to think about as to why he's doing it. Okay, this is good. You PS him before he did. So doing this, I would have done a backwards chain right here because he's starting to nose onto me, and I would already have nosed onto him, and I would have been in a good plane, like a good plane of motion. But he's about to start, get a good nose on, and he does it going downwards. Yeah, but yeah, he starts late, waits for it, and then he starts boosting. So as soon as yours ends, he's right on you. See this? Now if you PSM, you're gonna eat missiles. There you go. These are gonna hit you. You see, while you've got boosting down, he knows how to cancel his, and he also knows how to backwards fly. So it's also, even without his guns, it's still beating you over the head with knowledge and really much better shot placement as well. Because while he can play defense and lob missiles, you don't know how to play defense either in lob missiles. The best you can do is just play defense, honestly. And this is another thing. If you PSM going straight downwards, you're at the super disadvantage because your plane has to work to get out of it too. If you were facing like directly sideways, you might have escaped these, but you can see where he came right down from the top and shot at you because your plane has to fight gravity as well as itself. So, boom. You're not PSMing. You're PSMing like this. You're PSMing downwards because now your plane has to fight gravity that's pulling you down, and it has to fight its own weight going down. So if someone shoots from you from the top up and your nose is looking this way, you don't have much of a choice other than to just eat the missile and die. So if you know you're going to be PSMing downwards, you want to at least have your nose pointed away some different direction. You want to have it anywhere else other than pointing upwards, directly upwards, because you're not going to jut upwards as fast as possible. So, yeah. Mhm. You do it again here. Plane point straight up. PSM. Can't escape it. Look, if you want to just run boost, like Blisk 2 or something, I won't lie to you, I did that for years. You're getting beat here because your timing is off. He knows to delay his PSM and he knows how. He knows how to short his PSMs and does it. No engine parts feels better because it's easier to get. It's better for newbies starting out if you're taking Blisk. Advanced players know that extra boost isn't going to help them out because they get beat because of timing and positioning. It's the reason why they get beat. You're getting beat here because your timing is way off. He's PSMing before you to get in a position where you're starting to PSM and he's PSMing later than you, so that again, when you come out of boost, he comes and gets you. That's the reason why you're getting beat. That and he can play defense with missiles and no offense, you don't know how to yet. Notice how he's mid boost by the time he comes back around to shoot you? He just started it. This is how everyone learns, really. The only difference is they didn't have me helping them out. I had to figure all this. I had to figure out most of this stupid shit by myself. I don't play the game doing this much anymore because, quite frankly, I'm bored of it. I don't. The only enjoyment I get out of this is watching it and then helping other people learn from their mistakes because they usually don't know what they should be doing or what they should be practicing. Yeah, see? Here, he can't just outboost you. Here, he can't just outboost you. So what he does is he cuts one of his PSM short. So he tries to outboost you. And now this time it ain't gonna work. You managed to match him on it. So he cuts his short. And he does it again. So he gets a longer boost than you do as you come out of it. You see this? If you want to learn how to PSM, just use the 37. Just use it. It's very controllable. It's slower, but it's slower in terms that it lets you think about where you're moving. No, KK, he's not getting fucked because he can't chain. He's getting fucked because Dark knows when to PSM or when to start PSM, and he's fucking him on timings is what he's doing. Dark also knows how to cut his PSM short so he can delay his boost as well. That's why Rom here is losing. That and the obvious skill issue, but that's fixable. So anyone who's starting out, or anyone who's ever watching this vid in the year AD like 3082 or some shit like that, just use the 35S. Everyone does it. There's no shame in it. Or use the 37, which is what I do. It's mostly personal preference. The 35S has a little bit more power than 37 does, but who gives a fuck? But yeah, it's dark. Like, the only thing that this does is it just highlights what you're not good at yet. So basically, it's like pretty much everything. But what's the most important is learning when to PSM is just as important as knowing where to be when you're done with that PSM. This is a very big case of not knowing when to PSM. If you've ever seen these guys fight, you'll get the idea. For example, I can watch Chunye fight, or Chunye. When I watch him fight, every single movement he does is very deliberate. He doesn't do anything that's super unnecessary. That's what I like about the way he plays. But it's also he's very smart about it as well. Like, there's not much else for me to say about this game other than you're being out-timed by a massive margin. And of course, the gun aim can always use work, but you learn the basics of doing that in like special weapons on and learning positioning and stuff. It's just a skill you have to hone. You can't you can't outboost someone who knows how to position better than you. You will never outboost them. Just telling you straight up. If they know how to delay their timings, if they know how to cut their timing short, and you don't, you're never going to beat them. You can backwards fly a little bit, you can land some gun damage, but you're never going to beat them until you learn how to do the same thing. And that's when PSM gets really fun. Hard, but it gets really fun. Okay, so what I want you to do is to fight other people. Go to the competitive Discord. I'll give you a link. Say you want to fight whoever the fuck is there. Just fight people there. Make it gun 1v1s, do whatever you have to do. But if you want to train normal guns, do what I did. Use the MiG-21 for like a couple months if you want to. But that's not going to teach you how to PSM a gun. I learned how to do that on the 37. And in 2500 special weapons disabled is where I learned how to do that. It makes you much better, like mechanically solid player in the 37 whenever you're doing those special weapons off lobbies. And you're using a build that's not meant for 1v1s. I have a build that I use for specifically like battle royales. I'll shoot to you here in just a second. But it works regardless. I have pressure on it, but that's only because pressure 2 allows me to evade missiles from the entire lobby for more than like 30 seconds to a minute. It lets me do it the entire game. And that's the only reason why I have pressure 2 on it. It also doesn't matter much for like 1v1s because I don't have the lock-on speed, but I have everything else. I just use gun damage too because it's easier to run up on someone, gun them down for 100 to 0, and then just leave. So I'll give you that build. I'll tell you what exactly to do. And I'll shoot you some DMs, and I'll shoot you a link to the competitive Discord. But in all honesty, you want to train your gun aim and you want to train your PSM timing as well as a little bit of your boosting, just making sure that it's 100% consistent and you do it exactly whenever you want to. Now, I know you're not going to be able to finish it and hook it up immediately and get it all set up and going, and that's perfectly okay. It's perfectly okay to fuck up your PSMs. I do it all the time. Anybody who says that they never do is a fucking liar. So, yeah, I'll shoot you the build that I use for normal battle royales. It helped me a lot in terms of like just basic mechanics and learning how to move. But I'll shoot you all those things. You want to choose the main plane that you want to learn how to gun with because learning how to PSM with somebody, right? You PSM with somebody, you aim your guns where they're going to be and you fire. And then you end up getting a shitload of damage off of that. And that's how like lower skill PSM fights go when they know how to gun aim better than they know how to do shooting. Is they just are shooting missiles. So they just gun each other a lot. And it's really helpful to learn how to control your plane, which is why I also recommended the 37 in the first place. Because when I saw you PSMing, it's like you didn't know where to go. Your plane has too much speed or too much pitch authority when you start the PSM. So I don't think the SMTD and planes like that help for whenever you want to snap PSM onto somebody, but they don't teach you how to control that snap. They don't teach you how to set up for, okay, whenever I snap PSM, I'm going to turn this much and I'm going to end up here. That's how people get really good with snapshotting and EMLs. That's also why I advocate for the EMLs. So, anyways, you want to learn chaining and your timing. You want to learn how to delay your PSM, and you want to learn how to do 1 or 2 PSM chains. You don't want to learn how to backwards fly necessarily yet, but learning how to like be able to fly like a tiny bit and move out of the way is also really helpful. I'll give you my battle royale build and my MiG 29 build and the MiG 35D one. They're usually about the same, but I'll DM you here in just a sec. But thanks for stopping by. I've seen pretty much everything I want to see, but if you ever get any more videos or if anybody else wants to send me theirs, just go on ahead. It's really no big deal.